Hello, my name's Grant and welcome to the channel. Most recently the channel has been about health and fitness, however my interests span a bit further than this. All around the world in towns and cities you see a lot of men, especially young men, wearing t-shirts, ripped up jeans that ill fit, t-shirts that ill fit, trainers everywhere, beanie hats, among other things. And this is a far cry from the way men used to dress. There's almost an air of, I don't really care how I look, I don't really care how I present myself. However, with the current trends on social media of men not having their place and young men feeling lost, I feel that one of the first steps to take is looking at the way we present ourselves so we can feel proud of the way that we look and we have a bit more self-respect. So for any man or young man that wishes to upgrade their look, I'm going to go over 4 categories that you can start with. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on each category on this video. This is just going to be an overall look for people that are not sure where to start, but to get them on the right direction. So the first thing I would look at, and is relatively inexpensive, is your grooming habits. Now, some of these you already do. However, some of these are things that you perhaps have done but don't do maybe as regularly as you should. Let's start with the simple things like brushing our teeth, making sure our clothes are washed, making sure your hair, and if you have it, facial hair, is kept tidy and trim. Having even a very small skincare routine to make sure that your skin is looking its best. And lastly, looking after our fingernails. So without going into too much detail, starting with hairstyle. Now, whether you want to have short hair or long hair is none of my business. However, certainly I think we would all agree that we want our hair to look tidy. This might mean going to the barber or the hairdresser a little more regularly. If you have short hair like mine, I'm lucky that I actually cut my own hair and I do this once a week, as well as my facial hair. If you have longer hair, this means that you may have to go to a barber or a hairdresser a little more regularly, maybe once every 3 weeks, a month at a push. Or if you find that your hair is very, very frizzy, some kind of salt solution or some kind of salt and water solution to help weigh the hair down slightly can avoid too much frizz. When it comes to facial hair, using some kind of wet razor to catch the edges so there's no stubble protruding over the beard, and it frames the face nicely, and by keeping the main part of the beard relatively trim. When it comes to skincare, again very quickly, using a face wash, and then when I finish my shower I use a moisturizer with added SPF. Now I go a little overboard with SPF, I use factor 50, but I find that over the years this has kept my skin clearer and free of potentially more wrinkles that I could have had. So for skincare, my recommendation would be at least just make sure you wash your face and a moisturizer afterwards with some kind of SPF protection from the UV rays. Last but not least, fingernails. Just make sure they're trim and not ragged. Grooming is something that is looked at as being a little more feminine nowadays. However, you'll notice that generations before, your grandfather, your great-grandfather took great pride in how they looked. And we can all agree that those kinds of men were very highly respected. Now that your grooming is taken care of, the next category I would look into is the clothes that you're going to wear. A lot of men I see nowadays wearing oversized t-shirts, oversized jeans with tears in them, wearing trainers all day, perhaps wearing beanie hats. Now I have nothing against these particular kinds of clothing for a particular kind of person. However, if you're looking to upgrade your look and look more mature and a little smarter, these are things that are not going to fly. If you want to be treated like an adult and have more self-respect in yourself, you want to start wearing clothes that only adults wear. It would seem very strange to see a 6 or 7-year-old wearing a dressed up shirt, chinos, and a nice pair of shoes on their everyday. So children wear t-shirts and shorts, and more casual wear, they wear comfortable shoes. So when it comes to dressing yourself, certainly I would imagine you want to separate yourself from dressing like a child and dressing exclusively how an adult is going to dress. Now, a few things you can implement straight away without going into too much detail is if you're going to wear a t-shirt, why not wear a polo shirt instead? This is going to give you the same comfort as wearing a t-shirt, however, having the added collar into the outfit is going to give you a much more mature and respectful look. Instead of wearing oversized ripped jeans, why not buy a regular fit pair of jeans without the tears, or to take it one step further, why not opt for a pair of chinos, perhaps in cream, white, black, there's many different colours. And instead of wearing trainers, why not opt to wear a smarter pair of shoes? You don't have to go as far as wearing, smart Oxford shoes. There is a variety of different kind of boots you can wear, which can look very nice with jeans, or perhaps a more comfortable pair of loafers. Dressing well doesn't necessarily mean you put on a three-piece suit and go out to the pub. Call that dressing up. Now, dressing well means dressing appropriately for the situation, but perhaps upping your game just a little bit. For example, today I was going into the city centre to have food with a friend, but also take a couple of pieces of clothing to the tailor. The weather itself was nice and sunny, so what I opted to wear was a light blue collared shirt. I am also wearing cream trousers. I coupled this outfit with a light brown belt and a light brown pair of Oxford shoes. Now, because it was nice weather outside, I decided to opt for brighter colours, the light blue, the white chinos, and the light brown shoes and belt. I feel that black and darker colours are more appropriate for going out in the evening, perhaps more formal. But if you want to have a smart but more casual look, lighter colours are going to be more effective. I can go into more detail about specifically what bits of clothing, what colours are going to work best together. However, I'm going to keep it at that for now. If you want some, and if you would like me to go into more detail, I can make a video in the future. Those quick couple of tips can certainly make a difference. So very quickly summarising that, instead of a t-shirt, wear a polo shirt. Instead of a ripped up pair of jeans, wear a regular fit pair of jeans without the tears, or one step further, maybe a pair of chinos. Instead of wearing trainers or sneakers, perhaps opt to wear some kind of boot that can look very smart. If it is a very casual setting, perhaps a pair of loafers. So you're well groomed, chosen the clothes you're going to wear, you're looking a little more mature, you're feeling good about yourself. Next thing to look at, in my opinion, is now some form of health and fitness regime. Now, this doesn't mean going to the gym 6 times a week. It doesn't mean being on a super strict diet and getting yourself really, really lean. It simply means being aware of your physical activity and the kinds of foods that you're eating. If you take 2 men, one that looks after their body and one that doesn't, and put them in the same kinds of clothing, even if the clothing fits both of them, that the person that's looked after their body is going to look that bit better. 2 reasons. 1, their body flatters the clothes more, and 2, having a more desirable body or body shape is not something you can simply go to the shop to buy. It's something that has to be built over a bit of time, and it takes a little bit of discipline. This, in my opinion, is far more respected than simply having super expensive clothing, because you can't buy it and because it takes time and effort. So whether it means starting up resistance exercise to fill out certain parts of your body, the chest and the shoulders maybe, or if it's about cutting back on certain kinds of food to bring the waist in, it's something I would certainly recommend. If you look back on my previous videos, you'll notice that I have made some more gym-orientated videos regarding how to develop certain body parts. That's a start, and certainly if you'd like me to go over in more detail, specifically maybe weight loss, whether it's building muscle, certainly let me know in the comments and I can make videos more appropriate to that. So now, we're groomed, we've got clothes, we've got into some kind of health and fitness routine. It doesn't have to be crazy, it's just something. The next step is to make sure the clothes that we are wearing actually fit us. So, 2-man scenario again. 1 man that have clothes that fits him, another man that has clothes that doesn't fit him. You will instantly see the man that has clothes that fit his body type is going to look far better than the person that either has oversized clothes that makes them look like a tent, or clothes that's far, far too tight and you can see creases and folds and the clothes look very awkward. That doesn't mean you have to go to a tailor and get all of your clothes tailored specifically for you. If you go to any sort of clothing store, you will see that there are specific kinds of fits that you can buy straight off the rack. If you look at trousers, for example, there's short length, medium length and long length of legs. You've got the waist sizes, of course, buy appropriate for you. When it comes to shirts, you'll find that there is regular fit, there is slim fit, there is tailored fit. Now these have been made with that fit in mind, and you might be lucky enough that you can get a specific fit for your body type then and there. If you're a little unlucky like me, I am a health and fitness enthusiast and have been for years. I am shaped very differently, where my chest and shoulders are fairly broad and my waist is small. So if I buy clothes for my chest and my shoulders, like a suit jacket or a shirt, I will most likely have to take it to a tailor. Otherwise, my midsection gets completely drowned out. Now, if you're in an unfortunate situation like me and you're shaped a little bit differently, then you can take a dress shirt or a suit jacket to your local tailor. Even if you don't know how it should fit, your tailor should be able to help you with how long should the sleeves be, how much should we pull in the waist, etc. The 4 categories again is make sure your grooming is on point. Wear clothes that are appropriate for the situation. Make sure that you are doing some form of activity and eating healthily. Make sure that your clothes fit you. I haven't gone into great detail in these 4 categories. However, if you are not sure where to start, these are the 4 categories I would look into first if you're looking to upgrade your look. If you have any questions, or you would like me to make another video specifically about something else or going into a topic in more detail, let me know in the comments and I will endeavour to make a new video to help you out. So in the meantime, enjoy your evening and I will see you in the next video.